Hey guys, welcome back to Edgehill Homestead. Shelby here. Today we are doing a review of my favorite Homestead books. I don't know how directions work on the camera, but you get the idea. I've got some of my favorite books that helped me get started in my homestead journey, and we're gonna go over each of those, and let's go. All right, so first, we're gonna go over the first homesteading book that I ever bought. The first homesteading book that I ever bought, and it's Welcome to the Farm by Shaye Elliott of the Elliott Homestead. I know she has a YouTube channel. I'll tag it down below, and any of these other authors, if they have YouTube channels or, you know, that kind of good thing, I'll tag it down below. This is a how-to guide of basically all of areas of homesteading, just surface level, how to get started with. The first chapter goes over the home garden. The second chapter, preserving the harvest. Then goes on to chickens, dairy, raising meat, beginning beekeeping, orchards, that kind of good stuff. And it's beautiful with beautiful photographs, and it's written very well. Shaye is an amazing artist. I'm pretty sure she photographed all of this. I might be lying, but I'm pretty sure she did. So yeah, this is the book that got me really just jump started into getting to know more about homesteading. The second book I'm going to go over is So You Want to Be a Modern Homesteader by Kirsten Nielsen. I first discovered her on Instagram. Kirsten specializes in goats and geese and sheep. She has a farm, I believe in Maine. Her and her husband bought it. Like, there wasn't even indoor plumbing in it. It's like over 100 years old, all that good stuff, and they built it basically from the ground up. This is a really good resource for beginnings of goat keeping and goose keeping. And I really appreciated this book because, you know, I think a lot of homesteading accounts just kind of gloss over the pretty romantic parts of homesteading and don't go over the grittiness and sometimes the sadness. She goes over like how to take care of your animals, going over animal loss, that kind of thing. You know, we all know homesteading is not for the weak, and it is not for people who want to be glamorous all the time. I mean, there are some moments that you can make glamorous, but that's definitely not how it is all the time. Book number 3, Carrots Love Tomatoes. Now this book is less about homesteading and more about companion planting. It's super straightforward. There's absolutely zero fluff in this book. It is literally just, you want to know what grows well with, let's see, coriander. You look up coriander in the herb section and it tells you. Simple enough. And it has different sections. Like the first section's vegetables, second is herbs, then you have wild plants, then steps for home fruit growing, ornamental trees and shrubs. You get the gist. And the best part is there's an index. So you don't have to look through the table of contents to figure out where you need to go. Just look for your plant or your keyword, and there you go. Like I said, super straightforward, a really good resource for planning out the garden because you don't want to plant onions next to potatoes. They don't like each other, just like, you know, other such things that don't like each other. So there you go. Really great resource. Up next, we have the Backyard Homestead. I really like this book because it's a little dusty. Just a little dusty. Really tells you how to maximize your space for growing, because it is literally about producing all the food that you could eat in a year on a quarter of an acre. and it gives you lots of examples on how you can lay out your land. It also goes on to, like here, we have a homestead on 1/10 of an acre and how to line that out. We have a 1/4 acre, a 1/2 an acre, that kind of thing. And it goes on to different plants that you can plant in these gardens, and also a good resource for companion planting. I am not going to lie, I haven't read every single page of this book. I kind of only did the ones that were pertinent to me. But it is a very, very, very good resource on how to maximize growing spaces. And it also gives you recipes, and like this section specifically about foraging. Rosehip jam, dandelion coffee and dandelion wine, all kinds of good stuff. That's Backyard Homestead. Next, I have The First Time Gardener Vegetables by Jessica Sowards of the Roots and Refuge. Roots and Refuge. How dare I? She's my favorite homesteading YouTuber. And I love this book because not only is it a how-to on getting started with gardening, but Jessica gives you the freedom of imagining your space not as a functional space for being self-sufficient and growing your own food, but also how to plan that space into a space that you will enjoy, encouraging you to grow something lovely. And really hits the nail on the head where if you don't create a space that you'll enjoy, you won't spend time in it. And this book spoke to my heart. And I wish I would have taken her advice a little bit more to heart for this year, just because I feel like our garden space is very regimented and not very grow something lovely. But she's a really eloquent, well-spoken writer. She speaks to my soul. I love this book. Next, we have The Rooted Life by Justin Rhodes. He's another big homesteading YouTuber. I really enjoy his content, and I really enjoy his writing because he writes in a way that he would speak to you. And he really comes at it from, you know, sometimes a lot of people get discouraged, like, how can I start this? How in the world can I do all of this? And he really touches on, if I can where I was, then you can too. And it's really, it humbles him in a way that you feel less intimidated, because that's definitely how I felt whenever I first discovered his content. I'm like, holy crap, this guy knows a lot of stuff. There's no way I can be on his level. Yeah, you can. Just gotta work at it. One thing that I really enjoy about this book is it's not only a how-to, but there is a good component of storytelling to this. And Justin really digs deep into the memories of when him and his family got started in homesteading. And so a lot of these stories are really quirky and cute. And then he really dives in deep to infrastructure, like different facilities for chickens and rabbits. And he really dives deep on, you know, how he, even though you could be gardening on really crappy soil, but if you follow this, and I can't exactly remember what his composting method is, but he gives you step-by-step instructions on how to remedy that if you have to. Really enjoyed that. And last but not least, we have The Healing Garden by Juliet Blankspore. This book is all about herbalism, growing your own medicine, and using herbs not just culinarily, but also in a health perspective, using your food as your medicine. This book is also super beautifully written. The photographs in it are to die for. Look at that. It's so pretty. Which really goes into cultural beginnings of herbs and how folklore and different legends about how these herbs and different plants can help us. And she goes in behind the science. I am going back through this book and not really making notes, but underlining different things that I really want to remember. And then she goes into planning your landscape, also going into companion planting, and there's also recipes on how to use your herbs, like this basil, cucumber, lemon water. So it looks so refreshing. But this book is really nice too. I don't know if you could tell just by the way I presented this book, but out of all of these, my favorite is this one. Hands down. And I can't wait for her to write more. And that was The First Time Gardener, Growing Vegetables by Jessica Sowards of Roots and Refuge Farm. That'll do it, folks. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time here on Edge Homestead.